So let me share my screen. So again, welcome everybody to this webinar on activating the island marketplace. So the idea is to support the Your Island community to finance their projects. I present myself and then the rest of the secretariat team will present themselves. So my name is Amandine Gall. I work for Canadian company Econolaire and I'm the team leader for financing in the clean energy for EU Island projects. Let's jump to Jorge Rodriguez de Almeida.
Hello, everyone. So my name is George, and I'm part of the financing team of the EU Secretariat for the Clean Energy on Islands, and happy to be here.
Then Marco Markov, my colleague from Bulgaria.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marco. Likewise, Amandine. I'm working for Econolaire Canada. My background is also financial, and I've been working on the guidelines, structuring finance on this project. Happy to be here.
And the last but not the least, Leandro.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Leandro. I'm colleague of George in the same company, but colleague of Amandine and Marco in the financial team of the Clean Energy for EUislands. We are also providing technical assistance. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So what is a marketplace? You will hear today exactly what the marketplace, how the marketplace can help you. But generally speaking, the aim is to enhance the matchmaking between island community and investor. And it's also to support you, the island, to make sure that the project you are presenting to investors have all the detailed information that investors require. And we are here to help. So let me quickly present the agenda. So I'm doing the small introduction now, and then we have the pleasure to have two very interesting presenters, Raul Pratap Singh from the European Energy Efficiency Fund and Tiago Vacera from Plural Energy Innovation Funds that will present you their investment products that they have and also explain to you what are the requirements for the project to be to receive a fund from their facilities. Then after this, because I think there will be very interesting presentation, and instead of waiting until the end, we will open the floor with a question from you guys, and the session will be moderated by George. And the idea is to use as much as possible the knowledge of Raul and Tiago to make sure that you understand very well what are the requirements and what is possible to be financed. Then we will present some marketplace tools that are already available on the webpage of the project, Clean Energy for EU Island project, that will be presented by Marco and Leandro. And then, depending on the time, and hopefully we have time, we will open also the floor for discussion and some additional question for you guys. So just quickly, why the marketplace is for you, the islanders mainly. So the idea is you can finance your projects by connecting with front-runner environmental, social, and governance investors, which exist in Europe, and they are very willing to finance your project. And for investors is to have the opportunity to increase your pipeline from potential investment coming from this very interesting islands. Now I let the floor to Raul for the presentation of the European Energy Efficiency Fund. Raul, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm going to quickly put on the screen so that
it's okay, it's perfect.
It's for everybody's benefit. All right, hi. So my name is Raul. I'm an investment manager at the European Energy Efficiency Fund. And the fund is basically an instrument of the European Commission, has been around since 2012 in the market, providing financing to different projects of energy efficiency, renewable energy, clean urban transportation. Yeah, the initiative of island communities is quite interesting, and is something that we feel needs support. And efforts such as those of Jorge and Amandine are needed, and more of them in the near future, so that the island market can benefit from financing and these instruments which are around. With no further ado, I'll just get into explaining what is EEF about. As told you, it's an instrument financed by the European Commission along with other investors, aimed at providing dedicated funding to cities, municipalities, and ESCOs working on behalf of municipalities and cities, so that the energy stock which are active in the European market can be lightened in terms of their energy consumption and their footprint. Here are a few statistics about the fund. Since a dedicated instrument, it is provided around 240 million of financing to different cities, municipalities across Europe. The main objective is to lower the carbon footprint of the cities and the projects that we help. So here are some average statistics that on an average, the portfolio is able to reduce 65% CO2 emissions from the status quo or the baseline. And in addition, the investments are 100% EU taxonomy aligned. So basically, it is doing what the European Commission wants us to do, and in the process, lowering the carbon footprint of the cities and municipalities. A few tips about what can be financed and funded. Basically, the instrument is designed in a very broad sense. It is able to provide debt, it is able to provide equity, it is able to finance directly the municipalities, it is able to finance ESCOs which are working on tenders, or ESCOs which are working directly towards helping the municipalities. Here are a few ideas about what kind of companies, what kind of sectors. Most importantly are the last part. What is the criteria for financing? First of all, it is that the impact should be at least 30%. So if you have a baseline of CO2 emissions, then the baseline should be reduced by at least 30% after the investing is done. Likewise, the investment ticket is there somewhere between 5 million to 25. Most of the projects are around 12 million euros, which is halfway our expectation. What projects can be financed? Any project in the European Union member states. So 27 member states where their projects of energy efficiency are welcome to reach out and benefit from the financing. And last but not the least, the investing should be taxonomy aligned. So every euro that we put in should help Europe lower the carbon footprint according to the EU taxonomy. There is another instrument of the fund, and it's called the Technical Assistance Facility. Basically, this is a grant-based financing provided to municipalities or cities who are trying to get their projects out in the market, so that these projects can be financed in the next steps. So for the lack of clarity on whether the project is feasible or not, we have created this instrument. Here we provide a consultant which works hand in hand with the municipalities and cities to outline a project which can then go to the tender phase, and then the ESCO can either do it with their own balance sheet, the city can do it with their own balance sheet, or they can go to the market, look for dedicated financing to do these projects and close this investment gap. There is the evolution of the portfolio since 2012. There are projects which have matured, which are projects which are still in our pipeline. To give you an idea of the breadth of the investment that we do, so here is the list of countries where we are invested right now. As you can see, there are more than 10 countries where we are invested, which means from the 27 member states, we are still lacking 15 cities and countries. So this is what we want to do, is expand it to these new horizons where we have not had a footprint. In the last few years, we've had significant success in Latvia, Lithuania, and Estonia, and we are hoping to expand in those geographies where we have lesser exposure. Here's a list of the projects, and to look into the further sectors of these projects, the fund invests in three main sectors. The majority of the investment goes towards energy efficiency projects. Thereafter, the focus is on renewable energy, and lastly, it's clean urban transportation, where e-mobility is covered, charging stations are covered. Majority of the investments are in senior debt positions. Some of them are in subordinated debt positions, and the last few are in the equity positions. So the fund is able to activate itself in an equity or senior debt or a mezzanine piece. So based on the project requirements, we are able to adapt a solution and able to provide financing. It's a further detail of where our projects are lying. These are more for your information to see what is the range of financing that we are able to provide. We are able to provide mostly between 5 to 25, but we are flexible on both the sides. So as you can see, there is a university hospital in Italy where we provided 30 million of financing. At the same time, we have a project in UK where we have provided 2 million of financing. So based on the innovation, based on the challenges that the project feels, we are able to be flexible and able to help. Yeah, put some case studies so that you can have an idea of what kind of structures, complexities we are able to handle. This is an example of a debt financing created in the form of a project bond for financing 30 million euros into a hospital in Italy. The technology that we looked at is on a different scale. It is a cogeneration solution along with the heating network around the hospital. The financing was dedicated towards overall improvement of the energy footprint of the hospital, and it's been activated since 2013. So we are now in our 11th year looking into the performance of this project, and it's quite satisfactory, and the project is 100% taxonomy aligned. There's another example, simpler project in the city of Santander. It's a sale of receivables for the ESCOs. So basically the ESCOs receive upfront funding, and for the payments that the ESCO is supposed to receive from the municipality for these works and the services that they are doing, they sell part of these receivables to satisfy the initial funding. And so it works out very clean manner, off balance sheet solution, and it allows the municipalities to receive financing, the ESCOs to not burden their balance sheet, and overall solution is working for all the three parties. Yeah, this is an example from 2017, and now we are in our 8th year since financing, and it is quite successful. This is a third one where we have a little bit of a flavor. This is an equity financing, and the way we do is we created a joint venture with a local ESCO in Italy, and the idea of the ESCO is to identify multiple public tenders which can be financed through this joint venture. So the money goes in from the fund side and the local ESCO into a joint venture, and the joint venture then finances multiple tenders. This is a formula which is hardly used, but it's quite successful and can be replicated in any geography of interest. I'll stop here. I don't want to put a lot of information onto the table, but happy to take questions because those are where the real challenges are, and happy to answer them.
Thank you, Raul, for your presentation. So I know that you have some strict agenda, so I would open the floor now to any questions that people might have. I would just kindly ask Amandine to check the chat and hand raise it because I'm on the phone. I cannot do it. Sorry.
No problem. Currently,
meantime,
I don't see any questions.
Yeah, thank you, Amandine. So I understand that so we have different people here attending, and you use it some terms that I would ask you to a little bit try to clarify or try to let us know the difference, because you said that you could finance projects through equity, mezzanine, or debt. So could you just give us a flavor about the difference that there are and the flexibility of both of these types of vehicles that you use?
Yeah. Good question. It's very technical, but try to simplify it. So in simple words, when there is a project which has a lot of risk, and there is no other funding which is available to the project. To get the project started, you need equity. Yeah, equity is full risk, where the technology and the off-taker, which means the final municipality's risk, is higher. And in those particular cases where there is a doubt in the market whether the project will go ahead or not, we enter into an equity arrangement where there is absolute clarity on the technology and the municipality. And for example, if you are having a street lighting project, it's a technology which is tried and tested, and for the number of hours fixed, you can pretty much estimate what is going to be the savings in kilowatt hours. And if you translate that into euro amounts, it's a predictable amount that you can be sure of that will be saved from this particular investment. In those less risky investments, we go in with debt financing. It can be structured in different ways, where the risk is very well known and it is well mitigated. The advantage of these debt financing or sale of receivables is that the ESCO, if they perform more than what is anticipated in the baseline, so imagine instead of saving 70% of energy bill, they're able to save 80%. All this upside will go directly to the ESCO, because that's the advantage of their working harder, being smarter, and doing continuous investment. Yeah, the mezzanine piece is usually where we are unable to have a direct footprint. So, for example, if there is a bank sitting in Romania or Estonia or Latvia, where they are willing to do provide financing based on our guidelines, and we do not have any person directly, then we will provide this mezzanine sort of partial risk sort of financing to this bank, and the bank will further provide money to the projects and the companies which are looking for such financing. Yeah? So just to give you a flavor.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
George,
you.
there is a question. Do you see it, or
Yes,
you want me
No,
to?
could you read
thank
it?
you.
Okay, so this is from Elena Sanchez Ribeiro. And the question is, does the fund also fund projects in islands run by private companies?
Yeah. So when I talk about private companies, we are effectively talking about energy service companies. So you have to see whether the company is working on a tender for the island. If it is working for a tender for the island, then it qualifies. Yeah. If it is working on certain technologies which are benefiting the public sector, which means municipalities or cities, then also it will qualify. So it has to be evaluated on a case by case basis. There's no overarching answer for this particular question. But generally, if it's a private company as involved in the tendering process, that should reach out to us.
You?
Okay. So any more questions? Let me just say something that's important. So there are no wrong questions. You can freely ask any kind of questions, and we understand that this is a really complex topic when it comes to the jargon that we use or the the technicalities of behind the financing structure. So they are complex, but the idea here is try to simplify. So please make your questions and try to clarify your doubts. In the meantime, just on Raul, on the last example that you gave, you said that it was I don't know exactly the expression that you used, but that it was more complex to be used, or it was not so simple. And why is that? Is that an internal issue about the way that you structure, or is that more on setting up a company setting up a really strong project in islands, for instance?
Yeah, so the more challenging part is the structuring of the deal. When you do loan financing, it is pretty straightforward. You're looking at cash flows, which will repay the financing. You just need to control these cash flows. When it comes to equities, there is a risk sharing model where you are looking at not running the SPV or the joint venture operationally, because we are financial investors. We cannot go in and start telling the engineers which bulbs to change, which services to give. And therefore, creating this separation of roles in an equity deal becomes a little bit more challenging. So the challenges are more on a legal and a structuring side. In terms of technologies, these are technologies which have been around for a lot of time, and they are well understood. So the separation of the risk is pretty easy in those.
Okay, understood. So
I
it's
have,
more.
yes,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I have a
Emily, go
question
ahead.
regarding this, because here it's in Italy. We have people from Italy, islands, several islands of Italy within the consortium. Could, if they have a project on public lighting, they could go to this CERAM company and ask them to do the project and see how yeah, they can be financed under the CERAM?
So no.
No. Okay.
So my understanding of public projects is it comes through public procurement. And so the idea here is that CERAM is the participating entity on all of these public procurements. So once they have been awarded the tender, this tender can be financed through this JV structure. And you can see these are names of concession of the public entities which are behind the tender. So if CERAM were to be awarded a tender, they have a specific structure in place with us so that that project is pre-financed. They know that there is money sitting there. How will it work for other municipalities in Italy? If these projects are already awarded to an ESCO, the ESCO can approach us. We can see which structure will make sense, whether it's equity, whether it is debt, and then we can work on which solution will work and will go forward. If it is a municipality who wants to do the project directly with its own team members, that is also possible. The municipality can reach out to the fund, ask for financing, and we can put a structure in place. So that is also possible.
Thank you so much.
Okay, so just my last question before we move, just to clarify. So basically, you are able to invest in two ways. One is through the ESCO, an energy service company, or the other directly with the municipality if they use their own resources.
Correct. If the municipality is looking to agree on a repayment schedule and is seeking for upfront financing, it is possible.
Okay.
The municipality basically promises to repay the financing over a period of time. The alternative is where you award an ESCO and the ESCO is looking for its own financing. And the ESCO can come to us and say, listen, this is the municipal project. I need financing. I will promise to repay in this form. And then the repayment can be structured as money coming directly from the municipality to us, or it could going through the ESCO to us.
Okay. Good to know about the flexibility. So if there are no more questions, I would now give the floor to Tiago, and thank you very much, Raul, for your clarifications.
Thank you very much for having me on this webinar, and it's always a pleasure. And if there are any questions, then please feel free to send them in an email to Amandine, and then she could forward it to me, or you can write to me directly as well. I have to rush to another meeting, but thank you again. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye.
So Tiago, you think? Ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Tiago. I'm talking from Lisbon, Portugal. I will present you the fund. I'm the fund manager of a Plural Energy Innovation Fund, a fund focusing only on renewable energy communities. This is my agenda for this quick presentation. I will explain about who is Plural. Also, I will present you the technical aspects of the fund as a regulated entity. Then about renewable energy communities, how we see these opportunities, and then our requirements for projects to be considered for investment. So starting explaining about Plural. Plural is a financial company. It is a group created in 2012 in the United States, working in different segments of the financial sector. This in your screen, you have the three major business areas of Plural: financial markets, broker-dealer, wealth management, and fund management. I am manager of the fund management division and also of the Plural Energy Innovation Fund. This is a map showing our location. So the headquarters are in New York. Plural has also offices in Miami and in São Paulo, not in this image, but in São Paulo as well. And in Europe, the headquarters are located here in Lisbon, Portugal. The decision of creating a fund focused on renewable energy was taken more or less 1 year ago, taking into account the opportunities that we saw. Me, myself, I have been working in this area for many years. And when I joined Plural, we discussed about opportunities and we detected this one. Of course, the legislation opening in Europe to these new kind of projects. And so we jumped into it and we launched the fund. The fund actually was created in mid last year, in June, I think. Already invested 5 million euros. It has a capacity to grow up until 80 million. The fund focuses, as I already told, only on renewable energy communities and only in Portugal and Spain. These are our two local markets in which we have access to the opportunities and in which we are more comfortable to invest. Plural is regulated. Plural Energy is a regulated fund, as Plural as an entity is also regulated as an asset management company under the European regulation. And it is eligible for professional investors only. This is a technical aspect, but it means that persons or entities to invest in Plural, they should be screened for different aspects in order to be sure that they are considered professional investors by the European legislation. The fund has a 10-year time horizon to invest, operate, and sell the portfolio of energy communities. In this slide, you have the typical technical aspects of the fund. I would only highlight some of them. This is pretty much standard in the industry of fund management. We have here the asset manager company called Plural Markets Gestão de Ativos, SCR. It means venture capital companies. It's a Portuguese regulated asset management company. We have the auditor, we have the maximum assets under management of the fund, the geographical focus, the managers, the evolution stages of the fund, etc., etc. So this is pretty much standard, and the fund's goal is it's one and only. It's generating profits for its investors. Okay. Now I will show you a diagram about, actually this is what we already are using for our first investments. There's the fund, this box here above. This is the fund, the legal entity. We created one SPV, one special purpose entity, to support the capex and to operate the renewable energy community. In these first cases, we owned 100% of the SPV, but it doesn't mean that we are not open to having partners at the SPV level in each one of the projects. Although, to be honest, given our need to keep things simple, we prefer to have simple deal structures. The fund contracts engineering and construction to a third party. The fund sells the electricity. This is an example for energy community based on solar, on a solar plant, right? So there's an anchor client, then there's community members, others than the anchor client also acquiring electricity from our plant, and then there's a commercialization company acquiring the remaining of the electricity not sold to the other two segments of clients. This is each one of these types of clients. They have contracts with the SPV. In our case, the SPV is called Plural Solar. Then the SPV contracts also from third parties, operations and maintenance, the management of the community, including the software that is necessary to manage everything, pays fees to the grid operator, and pays the insurance to the insurance provider. And then in the end, this model generates a profit for the investors that is paid back into the fund, and then from the fund to the investors. Regarding the kind of equipments and technologies, we are completely agnostic as long as, of course, the technologies work and produce the expected outcomes. In most of our projects, we are now in the phase of adding storage. In one of them, we are also adding EV chargers, electric vehicle chargers, but we can have other kinds of technologies. We are agnostic, of course. Better to have proven technologies in order to reduce the overall risk of the operation. This is an example of the kind of this is just an example of kind of technologies and assets that we may consider. Of course, everything depends on a study of the potential, the market potential for each one of them in the specific region, geographical area. Everything managed by a software, of course, an energy management software. And I would say these first two on your left, solar and battery, are almost mandatory as of today, but then we can add, depending on each situation, we can add other kinds of technologies. This slide to show more or less what is our view. How can we detect the potential to create a community? Of course, we have to have resources, whatever is needed to produce the energy, the electricity. We have to address what's the potential, local potential, while taking into account, of course, the legislation and the regulatory framework to assess what's the local potential for acquisition of the energy produced, and also an assessment of other competitors doing the same in the same region. So this is typical approach that we do. Of course, in some cases there are special funding opportunities to specific regions. We can also take that into account. It's not that relevant, but it's not that relevant because we do our numbers and our analysis based on pure market values for everything, for EPC, for electricity sales, etc. How do we approach the market? Again, remind that this fund is new, so we are also learning from other people, from the developers, from the entities in the field. Our approach is a pure financial approach in the sense that we are, as a regulated company and a company working on behalf of investors. Our main goal, our end goal, is allocation of capital to produce profits for our investors. Okay, so we don't develop, we don't operate the projects. We rely on third parties for both. Sometimes they are the same entity developing and doing the operation of the projects. But even if they are not, we never do that. We don't have in-house teams to take care of this. Of course, we have our technical and legal and etc. partners, but we don't do that. We always rely on third parties. We make our due diligence, technical, legal, and financial / business. Of course, this is a business in the end. So we invest in equipments in a given location, with the contracts of between 15 and 20 years with anchor clients or landowners or whatever it is. And during this period, things may change. So that there's also a very detailed financial analysis with the relevant variables and making stress tests and to check what's the impact in the profitability of the operation if this or that happen. We of course, although we don't have the internal teams, in case we are contacted by entities that do not have the full spectrum of skills or capabilities to make the complete feasibility study, we may also indicate potential partners to do that. But again, this is something that we don't do. We are a pure financial entity. And we deal with essentially with issues regarding how to create profitability for the investors. Now, just briefly explain how the kind of information we are receiving, so that we can make our internal analysis. This is the kind of the minimum. Of course, this kind of projects are located in a specific region, so we have to receive information about the space in which the equipments may be installed, one or more different spaces, or rooftop or ground. We also, it's important, of course, it's not absolutely mandatory, but we have a pre-aligned power purchase agreement intention with an entity with a reasonable risk scoring, a power purchase agreement of 15 to 20 years linked to annual inflation. This is our preferred situation. Of course, then we do some validations about the contract and the anchor client in our due diligence. An initial plan of the potential of the community to have different equipment, or to how long and who can be the other consumers of the energy produced, of the electricity mainly, which leads us to this issue of total addressable market estimation in the given geographical region. How many kilowatt hour per year and when can we expect to have as a market potential? Also, the issue of having a consumer of last resort, which is normally a commercialization company selling then the electricity to the grid operator. A licensing roadmap for how long will it take to have the final licenses to start building. Normally we receive the projects on before, of course, we contract the EPC services, so we receive the projects before having the licensing. And then optional, but important as well, when we are proposed an operation, having also the framework with the developer, in in which is the developer, the entity who will be managing the community during the contract years. We in our case, so far in our investments, it's the same entity. They are bringing us the projects. They propose a fee for software usage and another one for community management. Community management includes also commercial work of finding clients to acquire the electricity that is not consumed by the anchor client. Also optional, but why not? The estimated cost for the services to build everything, because although we have the possibility of acquiring to other entities the EPC services, we can also outsource. We can also contract these services to the company bringing the projects with no problem. This is my final slide. So an example, this is a real example of our last investment 2 months ago. We invested with the Portuguese company Clean Watts, the Portuguese developer. We invested in 7 plants. We entered in a ready to build phase. Some of them already with the renewable energy license, the others only with the auto consumption license, but with the process ongoing to have a renewable energy license. So total power 2.5 megawatt, average self-consumption 23%, which means that 77% we have to find buyers outside of the anchor clients. The average maturity of these 7 contracts is 16 years. Then we have 1,000 tons of CO2 avoided, 250 families accessing cheaper energy, and the anchor clients. One municipality, 2 industries, and 1 business association. Those are the type of anchor clients that we have in this group of projects. Of course, the advantage now, something I forgot to mention here in this presentation, but the advantage for the entities involved in the community. On one hand, let me go back, sorry. Diagram. The anchor client on your left-hand side of the slide. So the anchor client celebrates a 15 to 20-year power purchase agreement with very low electricity prices compared to the prices they currently pay to the commercialization companies. It can be as low as 4 to 6 cents per kilowatt hour, and adjusted linked to inflation. But on top of that, the anchor client may have the option of acquire the equipment during the lifetime of the project, paying a pre-agreed price to the SPV. Even if it does not exercise that option of acquiring the equipment. Acquiring the equipment, it means acquiring the community. So they would replace the SPV as the managers of the community, the anchor client. Okay, so if even if they do not exercise, they receive the everything for free in the end of the contract period. Regarding the other community members, the offer, again, this is something we outsource to the entities managing the REC. They offer prices which are around 15 to 30% below market prices at the retail level. So this is the benefit for the other community members. It's cheaper and greener electricity in this current case we are talking about solar projects. Okay, so this would be the main advantages. Again, just to stress that we, as a fund, we are agnostic to almost everything, the technologies and counterparties. We analyze everything as long as the business model is good. And we rely on third parties to take care of technical and commercial aspects of everything. I'm moving to my final slide. This one. So you can check on our LinkedIn. We have a small video with information about this project. But again, these 7 projects only have solar. We are now adding the storage. But we can do projects in any other technologies, and as long as they are located here in our geographical markets. This closes my presentation. Thank you very much. As Raul was saying, I'm open to receive any questions or email with further information that you need from the fund. And I'll pass now to you, Amandine, or George to lead the meeting.
Thank you. So let's see if someone wants to open the microphone and voice a question. So I see that we have one question that was written. I don't know if you want to open the microphone and voice the question. If not, I kindly ask Amandine to read it.
I'm trying, and I do not manage. I'm sorry.
Addition to solar. Okay, I can see the question.
Okay, thank you, Tiago.
Geothermal energy production or other. Okay, we are open to analyzing. We never did that in the past, so we would have to study and to learn with specialists how does it work. But again, this is a pure financial fund, so open to everything that works.
Great.
Okay.
And we have another question from Tuli. That what kind of price level did you mention for the anchor clients? Lower than the community members? How much?
It's a 50% discount for the anchor. Okay, 15 to 30 for the other members of the community. But regarding the anchor client, it's 50% more or less a discount to current tariffs. Okay.
Marco?
Yeah, thanks, Amandine. Thanks, Tiago. Great presentation. Impressive. You were referring to the need of all equipment to be run under a energy management software. But is it like a specific tool that you're using, or and can this software run all sorts of equipment?
No, it's not a specific tool. We don't have any software. We, for example, in this first investment, we rely on CleanWatt's software because they have their own software to manage everything. But no specific requirements on that front as well.
So it's up to the originators of the project.
It is.
Thanks.
Okay, thank you. So I don't see that we have any more questions at the moment, but I have a question for you, Tiago, because you mentioned a word that we use in the industry a lot, but some people might not understand what it is. You said that you invested in ready-to-build installations. So could you explain a little bit better what is the ready-to-build installation?
Yes. Of course, when we are thinking about developing a project, there are different stages. You start from zero, or you start making the first contacts and making the first feasibility studies and the preliminary talks with potential anchors, etc. We normally are not present at that stage. So when everything is ready, and when there's already everything was cleared, also in terms of licensing and studies and etc., that's when we can make the investment. We create the SPV, or we use an existing one, And the first step normally is putting capital in the SPV and then contracting the construction and engineering services to a third party. At the same time, making and signing the contracts with all of the entities involved, which can be slightly heavy paperwork, but it's the initial step. Okay, so ready to build means that we enter we take action as soon as everything is cleared and ready. Although we may be, of course, we may be in talks previously with the project. That there may be a preliminary approval for a project because we know that these things take much time to reach the ready to build stage. We may be involved, but we only allocate capital when everything is already signed and agreed between all of the parties, including, of course, the entities that will build the plants or whatever it is, and the entities that will operate everything. And then it's a question of month after month checking. We have, of course, monthly reports from the operators of the community, in which we can see how much electricity was produced, how much energy was saved, whatever the performance indicators, and also translated into euros, because in the end we have a monthly invoice to someone or to more than one entity, and we also have monthly invoices to pay to the entities providing the services. So everything works on a month after month basis, but that's after the project is already operating.
Okay, so I'm picking up what you said about sometimes entering a bit early in the process. So if a municipality or an island community has the project and they want to understand whether it makes sense or not, or what kind of mistakes they should not be doing in order to get more bankability, in order to be more attractive for you, the project, so they can contact you in that early stage and you can recommend someone to talk with them, or usually
Exactly.
The fund managers talk with them. How does
No,
it work?
exactly that. We can, of course, we can be present in the conversations and in the analysis, but we don't have internal teams to make all the feasibility studies. So there's the need of having always external entities. If this is in the case of the entity not having enough resources internally to do all of the work, we cannot do ourselves that work as well. So we would always have to rely on third parties, although of course we can be present in order to, I would say, to advise in the model so that the model is more bankable. So with the goal of having a model that works better for the purpose of the investors and of the lenders, we can and we are present. Of course, not consuming too much time because we don't have that possibility, but we may do that work with other entities involved, of course.
Okay, so if no one has another question or a question, I do have another one that is also linked to what you said here at the end, because of the internal resources and capacity. And I'm thinking about technologies that not so mature as PV. For instance, PV, I think that it's mature enough to everyone understand how it works, cash flows, etc. But when it comes to storage and batteries, so that's a different conversation. So although there are a lot of projects going into the ground, so there is no long-term record of how things go. So what is your view, and what kind of I would say tips would you provide to the islanders that want to develop projects that include storage?
We are also learning. Okay, so our view is it will be mandatory to have to include storage because it improves the model as a whole. It reduces risk, improves profitability. So but again, agreeing completely with you, we will make our first investment in storage in a couple of months, and we are also learning. Okay, so this is a learning process for everyone, also for us.
Thank you. So last chance for a question.
I think we will move forward, and we will keep the question. If Thiago can stay, he will answer directly. Or as I already did for one question, then we can send him the question and revert to you by email. There is no problem.
No, I can stay also.
Oh, thank you, Thiago. Thank you so much again. It was very interesting, and hopefully you will be able to invest in some nice project in Portugal and Spanish island that we have here around in this webinar.
Thank you very much, Amandine.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So now we would like to go back a little bit. Now you understand a little bit more what are the requirements from the investors and what kind of project they want to invest, what kind of data they need to have. And we want to explain to you what the marketplace and the secretariat can do for you. So in here, I'm sharing the web page of the marketplace, which is in the web page of the project. And here we have developed some tools that you will be able to use. And Marco will present the first one, which is guideline, which is here for Islander, and its name is Step to Finance Sustainable Energy Projects. Marco, I let you the floor.
All right, thanks, Amandine. Well, yeah, indeed, to successfully implement a renewable energy or energy efficiency project, it is important to secure financing. And the process of securing financing, regardless of the type of financing you're seeking for, it starts with collecting and structuring proper information. And this information is pretty much similar, across the board of different finance providers, be it banks or equity providers or specialized funds or grant providers. So this guideline is a very short document that we prepared with the ultimate objective to be like a set of step-by-step instructions for development of a bankable project application, and to capacitate, to allow the islanders and their organization and communities to structure the project information in the proper manner so that the finance providers can inform their financial decisions. Can I put it just the document on my screen? It won't be.
Yes. Go
okay,
ahead.
let me just see how it. Okay, so that's the document. Sorry, it's not in a PowerPoint format. It's just a PDF. But I wanted to show to everyone. So it's just a really simple and straightforward set of instructions on what type of information should you have in hand when you are approaching a financing institution or a grant provider. So basically, this guideline covers several domains of crucial information that the island community or the island organization that is intending to implement a sustainable project needs to have when approaching these sources of funding. So basically, there are 9 areas of information that we have covered and provided instructions for. It starts with some information about the candidate, about the project owners. Who are you? What is the legal setup of your organization? Who is the team behind the project? Is there any past experience? Something very important for the people that are holding the money. And some basic information about your team and your organization. Then the The second range of information that you have to collect is to present the investment opportunity overall. So what are the objectives? What is the rationale of investing in this or launching this project? So are you doing this because there is shortages of power, or because the energy on your island is super high, the cost of energy is very high, or because you see just a good business opportunity to invest in this project? Then some info about what is the current context of this project. So were there any past efforts to implement such a project? If yes, what happened? Why didn't it go through? Then it's very important to provide as much detailed technical description of your project as possible, to explain what type of project is it. Is it renewable energy? If yes, what type of renewable energy is it? Wind turbines or solar photovoltaics or biomass, biogas? Does it entail installation of energy conservation systems, energy storage, or not? What type of technology is going, or at least are you planning to use? What brands, what models? What is the technical design of the project that you have in mind? Then the next thing you should provide to the financial providers is at least your best estimates of the expected budget of your project. So what will be the total investment cost, the capex of your project? So this is money that's going to be spent on land acquisition, technical design, acquisition of equipment, installation cost, commissioning costs. What is the final amount that is going to be spent to put your project in operation? And then on the other hand, what will be the cost to just keep the project up and operational? So how much you think you need to spend annually on maintenance, on operational, on operations, licenses, insurance, security, whatever. Then you should approach the funds and the banks with at least a tentative idea of what the financing structure would look like. So how much will come from equity, how much you need to draw as debt financing, or some sort of other financing, or grants. So you must think about a structure. How much money do you already have raised, and how much it remains to be raised, and what sorts of financial instruments we will be looking to tap into. Then, of course, some information about the intended project implementation timeline. So how all the steps of project implementation will play out over the foreseeable future. Then some information about the project readiness, something that Tiago already dug into quite a detail. So how ready is your project to be funded and start being implemented? So are there any licenses or permits in place? Have all the decisions of the local authorities or the community organizations being made? So really, is it just a concept of a project, or you have all the documents ready and you just need the financing to start procuring construction? Then you should present some tentative information about the expected energy, environmental, and social indicators and social performance indicators. So basically, how much energy are you planning to produce or save eventually? How much money does it mean for the project? So you need to think about a potential off-takers, who's buying the energy, who's paying, how much money will be raised, what are the environmental benefits of these projects, how much carbon electricity or other sort of energy you're planning to offset by implementing renewable energy projects. What will the social impact of your project be? And then last but not least, you should calculate at least some basic financial performance indicators to show to the finance provider. So based on all the information that you have already collected about the expected costs, about the expected revenues of the project, what would the internal rate of return be? What would be the simple payback period, the net present value of this project? Of course, this will be only projections and approximations, but that will give the investors just a first notion of how profitable your project would be, and would they be interested in joining it or not. So this is pretty much it. This is this very short guideline, but I don't know, maybe 10 pages, not more. But I think without this information in hand, most of the investors or money providers will not be willing to have a serious look at an investment opportunity. That's the guideline.
Thank you, Marco. Thank you so
Maybe
much.
someone has questions or comments.
Yeah, we can take question on the guidelines, or if there is no question, I don't see. Well, I can pass the floor to Leandro to share also his screen, and
Yeah.
he will present other tools that are available on the webpage of the marketplace.
My screen is in your screen right now.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. And now I'm trying to translate what Marco said and what is in this guideline to the actual tools. And basically, I'm trying to explain and show you how for you to be eligible for the to enter on our marketplace. Basically, what you need to do is to fill this intake form, which I asked Luisa to please put it on the chat, maybe for everyone can see. But basically, this is a very simple questionnaire or form that you need to fill in to be eligible to be matched with investors. And what this questionnaire is basically a way to gather the basic information of your project at a very early stage. Basically, there is some mandatory questions and non-mandatory questions. The mandatory questions are the one really that you know how to answer it, which is information about your organization, for instance, your contact, because this is a way for us to properly reach you. The project description, like the name, the location, and then the description of the project. This is, this is relevant. This is very relevant for the investors. Actually, we choose to simplify a little bit this intake to be, to show only the relevant and very relevant content that investors want to see. And then there is some parts regarding the investment. This we choose not to be mandatory at a very early stage, because we can help you on estimating these numbers. And the same for the impacts, and on investment, we usually the most relevant answers are about the size, the estimated revenues, and the estimated payback time. I'm not going very deep on it because Marco already explained before in the guideline. And then the impacts. For instance, how much renewable energy your project will generate, the energy savings, avoid emissions, also social impacts like jobs created here, but also other impacts like, I don't know, but improve air quality or health, or whatever. What impact do you think that's relevant for your project? You can put it here. On this intake, it is important to say that if you do not know how to fill some of these fields, you can write down to us, and then we help you to fill in and to shape your project according to the investment requirements, let's say. or if you are able to fill everything and say, look, and you can drop us a line saying, look, we fill the intake form, and now please help us on shaping a little bit better to be more bankable. I mean, this is we are here to help basically, and this is not written in a stone. We are here to help you to shape this the content of your project. And the ultimate goal of this intake is for us as a marketplace tool to link you and make this matchmaking between your project and the investors. And what investors are we talking about? Here on this web page, that again, Luisa, please, if you do not mind, put it on the chat. We have two lists of investors. The first one is the local financial institutions, which are typical commercial banks that of the different countries the different countries of the EU member states. And why are these here and not others? Because this is the most known for investing in renewables and in energy efficiency projects. But below we have the list of investors, and these one are the investors like Tiago and like Raul presented before. They are on this list, and this list is basically a list of investors that we have direct contacts with them. They agreed to be part of our initiative. And of course, they have different requirements. I already saw a question on the chat, different requirements in terms of investment size and geographical location and so forth. We know their requirements, and knowing your project, we can make this work of match you and arrange you deal meetings with investors between you and suitable investors for your project. And basically, this is the ultimate goal of the EU Islands marketplace. It's work alongside with you islands in order to put you a step closer to the financing of a project. And I think that's it. What I want to say to you right now, and I'm happy to receive any of your questions.
Thank you so much, Leandro. So one question from Tuli, which is very interesting, that was asked. It was a minimum investment size for the marketplace?
No.
There is no minimum. Yeah.
There is no minimum.
That's why I answer. Every project related to clean energy in your islands are very welcome to be received by the island marketplace. Just before jumping to other question, I just would like to share again the web page. So the web page here, you can see the investor list, which Leandro presented. The guidance is also the guide presented by Marco is available here. And here is a survey when you can, or you can directly contact. You have my email and Marco's email to directly contact us for any support. And as Leandro said, we are here to help. And so there is the idea is for you to be aware that in this clean energy for EU Island project, you have a place called the marketplace where you can receive support for your project to be financed. So I'd like now to open the floor again for any remaining question for all related to the tool, related to the marketplace, how it works, or to Tiago intervention. We are very welcome to answer any of your questions. There is no question. It means we were very, very clear. I'd like to ask a question to the islanders. Do some of you feel that they have a project ready to be sent to the marketplace? Because the marketplace was available since the beginning of the project. It was there, we just reshaped it a little bit, but we were here to help, and we have not received any ask for support. But do you think is someone has already a project that is shaping now and needs support to make it more bankable, as Marco said or Leandro said? Maybe not. Not yet. So if I remind well, maybe George and Leandro can support me. The project will run until end of 2026. Am I right? Yes. Thank Martina. And so we will remain available until this time. So Elena, send floating PowerPoint believe your demonstrator project, which will be deployed in the Canary Islands. Welcome, Elena, to receive your project if you need support. Any project, we talked a little bit more on energy efficiency in street lighting or building or in PV today, but every project that falls under clean energy, meaning storage and so on, can be also supported by the marketplace. So Elena, we will be happy to receive information from your project, and we will contact you afterwards to see which support you needed. So welcome. So if there is no other question, of course, we remain available for any question regarding the webinar. The emails from Marco and I are in the webpage. Also, I will be, and I'm sure Leandro and George will be in Azores at the forum, and we will be available for any question related to financing your project. We will be happy. So, Ricardo from La Graciosa, you have access to the marketplace and guideline at any time. Yeah, they are. The guidelines and the marketplace information are all in the webpage shared here. You can go to the, you can write a Clean Energy Island EU in internet in your browser, and you can go to the project supported, and there is a specific place for the marketplace where you can find all the tools. And the webinar is recorded, and it will be also available, the recording of the webinar will be also available afterwards on the webpage of the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So just to finish, I'd like to show you some key takeaways. To summarize a little bit what everything was said. So the Clean Energy for EU Island Secretariat is waiting for the information of your project to be financed. We are here to support. Here we have 4 people on the call, but other additional colleagues might jump in if there is other needs. We are really here to support. This is our job, let's say. The guideline and the e-intake survey can help you to see what kind of information are required from investors, and so it's if you have doubts and if you have questions, just refer to these tools, and you can always reach to us, and we are here to support you. We are happy to support you. Please reach us via emails. We can set up calls. We can see us in events. We can really be here for you. And this is our goal, to support you from the technical assistance part that Martina is leading. And we are here to support on the technical assistance, but we also are here to support to make sure that your project is bankable and be financiable for investors. So thank you again so much for your participation. And I'll thank again a lot Tiago for his wonderful presentation. Hopefully we'll find some very nice project in Portuguese and Spanish islands. And I'd like to thank George for the moderation and the wonderful question he asked, and Marco and Leandro for their presentation. Thank you so much and have a great day or evening.
Have a good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon,
Bye
everyone.
bye.